This is one true crime case that is still unsolved. Who killed Corey Shearer, pictured behind me? So for some backstory, him and his friends and his girlfriend would go to house parties. These house parties were open invites that were posted on social media, so no problems would occur if they showed up. That is until one problem did occur. They found a party, them and their friends pulled up, Corey went in first. A few minutes later, Corey walked out and a man in front of him pulled out a gun and shot him in the face multiple times, completely unprovoked. And right when that happened, of course, Corey dropped to the ground. They tried to perform CPR and keep him alive. They called 911, but nothing worked. This happened on August 5th of 2022. And many of the people that were interviewed said Corey had no problems with anybody. He was always a fun and loving person. And many of the people at the party were cooperative, but a lot of people also are not talking because they're underage. I believe the police have found a surveillance footage of somebody unmasked jumping a fence. However, this suspect has yet to be identified. The sheriff's department has put out so many posters urging people to try to find this guy and maybe identify him. But I believe currently in 2024, nothing has really come to light on this. The case is getting colder and colder by day. Hopefully something comes of this soon. They have his full face on there. Yes, he has a hoodie on, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to identify him soon. It's just a matter of time. Let me know what you guys think about the Corey Shearer case in the comments section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. And big shout out to my follower who messaged me that told me to report on this story. I will be tagging you below in the comments. Behind me might be the dumbest criminal known to man. He's MacArthur Wheeler. Apparently lemon juice can be used as invisible ink, right? So he thought rubbing lemon juice all over his face would make him invisible to the CCTV cameras. Yes, you heard that right. He thought he was invisible robbing a place. This guy had 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place. He also smiled at every single CCTV camera he saw. This guy seriously thought lemon juice was his disguise. When the police turned up to his house too, he looked at the videos in disbelief, said, "But I wore the juice." Yeah, he literally said, "But I wore the juice." That's a quote. These robberies also directly inspired the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's the effect on where people that have little education on the field that they're in think they're the top dog, basically. Somebody with the smallest knowledge thinks they're the expert in something. This entire event transpired in April of 1995, but this is just an insane story to read about. Let me know what you guys think about this bizarre story in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. This man right here is David Parker Ray, also known as the Toy Box Killer. Let's talk about what he did. In the 1990s, Ray developed a soundproof trailer where he would take his victims and torture them inside. He even had fur-lined coffins and all of that stuff in there. Here's a glimpse inside of his toy box. This is where he would torture people. And as you can see, it looks like something out of a Saw movie. It should be noted as well, he had a huge mirror on the ceiling so his victims could see themselves being tortured. And he made that a point. He wanted them to see that they were being tortured. It's said that he may have tortured and killed over 50 people. However, the bodies and those numbers have not been proven. It has only been proven that he kidnapped and tortured somebody in 2001, and that's what he got charged with. He was supposed to serve a life sentence. 220 years is what he got. But he died in 2002 from a heart attack. One of the most sick things too, he would have these wooden things that would immobilize his victims. He would then have the dogs chew on them. A lot of his victims would also pass out from the stuff he was doing to them. He made sure he had an audio clip replaying his voice every single time when they woke up. Like, I'm telling you, this guy was real life Saw. It's a shame he didn't get to serve his sentence because he definitely deserved it. Let me know what you guys think about this Toy Box Killer in the comment section below, and reminder, these videos are for informational purposes only. This man who allegedly stabbed 2 in Arizona bragged to the cops that he was wanted for killing a woman in New York City. This is 26-year-old Rod Al-Mansouri. He was believed to have hired an escort and then beat her to death in a Manhattan hotel. He then got arrested in Arizona for going on a stabbing spree. The initial stabbing of the escort happened on February 8th, and this happened at about 10 a.m. She died from blunt force trauma, and they found metal and plastic pieces inside of her skull. This guy, Rod Al-Mansouri, also has charges in other states such as kidnapping and assault. So when he flew to Arizona, he tried to carjack a woman at knife point and gunpoint, and then stabbed her and didn't take the car. And then he stabbed somebody inside a McDonald's bathroom. He told the cops after everything was linked back to him, Google 54 Hotel. So I mean, he straight up said, Google my crime. Arizona officials want to keep him in Arizona so he doesn't fly back to New York or anywhere else and keeps committing crimes. But he's going to be slapped with a bunch of charges. Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. I've covered this story before, but for those that don't know, that is Travis the Chimp with Sandra Harold. Travis the chimp was a domesticated chimpanzee. Her best friend Carla Nash was over at the house and had Travis's Tickle Me Elmo toy. Many are saying that is why he snapped. He was very possessive of the toy. He ripped Carla Nash limb from limb and caused her to get blind. She was eventually airlifted to a hospital and survived, luckily, but she is permanently disfigured because of that monkey. The 911 call is chilling because you can hear the chimpanzee screaming in the background along with Carla screaming as well. And Sandra Harold, who made the call, is begging them to just send the cops. The cops would eventually arrive and shoot the chimpanzee, but obviously the damage was done. An autopsy report was done on Travis the chimp, and it's noted that there was Xanax in his system. Could that have been messing with his mind? Could maybe coming down from that dose cause him to have extreme aggression? And why was the chimp even given Xanax in the first place? Also, Carla's jaw had to be surgically reattached to her face in an experimental surgery. He ripped all of her fingers clean off the hand. For those that don't know the story, I urge you to listen to the 911 call, but if you're queasy, don't. It is a pretty wild one. As always, these videos are for informational purposes only. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This Kentucky college wrestler has been accused of fatally strangling his teammate inside of his dorm. This is Charles Escalera, and this happened in Campbellsville, Kentucky. On Saturday, February 24th at 10 a.m., they responded to an unresponsive male on campus inside of his dorm. They identified this 18-year-old as Josiah Kilman. Kilman was then transported to a hospital, and it was ruled out that he died by manual strangulation. Then at around 5 p.m., they got a report of a suspicious male inside of a barn. That's where they found Escalera. He cooperated, he went with the police without any incidents or any resistance. He remains in custody, and he will be charged with murder and second-degree burglary. During this entire time, the campus was on lockdown, but after Escalera was arrested, they lifted the lockdown. I just want to know why he strangled his teammate. Was this something random? Did they have beef? This is a fairly new report. It literally came out 2 days ago, so there's not a lot of information yet. And these two are very young, so who knows what could have went down. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. This Colorado funeral home director allegedly kept a woman's body in a hearse for almost 2 years. His name is Miles Hartford, and police just arrested him on suspicion of this. And that is just the start of this. Apparently, he kept the remains of over 30 individuals, and he gave out random people's cremations to different families. This happened on February 6th, and the only reason they found this out was because he was served an eviction notice. So people came to his house and started moving things out, and that's when they found the hearse in the backyard, as well as random empty urins everywhere. They also found a bunch of random cardboard boxes with human remains inside. Whether those were cremated or not, I couldn't really read into, but I'm assuming they're cremated. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. Now back to the woman that they found in the backyard in the hearse. Apparently her family came forward saying that he gave them her ashes. So who knows whose ashes they got? Investigators are now trying to identify the ashes and the remains of the individuals and link them back to the families. They located and arrested Hartford on February 22nd. Apparently his story is that he couldn't do the cremations because he was in a lot of debt, and some business partners that he did cremations with would not cooperate with him. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. This Alabama man was just charged in a 2001 cold case death relating to his wife. Police in Dothan, Alabama have arrested 69-year-old Dwight Mills. On December 30th, 2001, he reported his 49-year-old wife Sharon Mills missing. About a month later, they found her body in a storm drainage in Florida, Bonifay, Florida to be exact. Dothan police and investigators tried their hardest to link this case back to somebody, but they found no concrete lead, so it went cold. The case was then reopened recently, and police gathered enough evidence to link it back to Dwight Mills. That's when a warrant for his arrest was obtained, and they went and got him. They arrested him on Monday, February 26th, on murder and abuse of a corpse. Dwight Mills is now on a $1.5 million bond. So I think whatever evidence they gathered is enough to definitely put this guy away. I have not found specifics on the evidence yet, but if you guys have any leads on this, let me know and I'll read up on the article. I'm sure this guy thought he was in the clear over 20 years and no leads, but now he's caught. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. Missing 17-year-old found dead days after she was supposed to give birth. Behind me is 17-year-old Malaysia Hogg, and she went missing on February 8th. She was supposed to give birth on February 13th. Her family reported her missing on February 8th. Then on Sunday, February 18th, the teen's body was found dead inside of a ditch. Upon medical examination, it's noted that there are no signs of trauma to her body, and she was planning to name her daughter London after her mother who recently died. Such a sad story. This happened in Barnwell, South Carolina, and somebody by the name of Michael Still also went missing, and the police are currently investigating that as well. Some are saying this might be linked, there might be somebody going around kidnapping people and killing them, but the evidence is not concrete to link it back to one person yet. Malaysia's Aunt Judy Hogg said she was everything to her, and she said losing her was like losing her sister all over again. This makes me curious though, is there somebody going around kidnapping and killing people randomly? Do we have a serial killer on the loose? Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments section below, and a reminder, these videos are for informational purposes only. I'll keep you updated as I get more information. This is Robert Picton. He's a pig farmer and he murdered 49 women. He killed 49 ladies of the night by handcuffing them, strangling them, gutting them, and then feeding them to his pigs. This whole thing transpired in Canada. The crazy thing about him, he had an undercover agent posing to be his cellmate, and he asked him about the murders. Picton replied, "I want to kill one more to hit 50, the big 5-0 is what he quoted. And he admitted to being apprehended because he was sloppy with his murders. He was charged with a total of 26 murders, but he got charged with second-degree murder for only 6 women. He was sentenced to life in prison. However, after 25 years, he has the possibility of getting parole. And that just baffles me. 49 people admitting to wanting one more to make it a nice, even number, and you're getting the possibility of parole? Something's wrong here. He was arrested in 2002 and convicted in 2007, so why am I bringing him up right now today? As of last Thursday, February 22nd, he has the possibility of day parole. And then in 2027, he'll be eligible for full parole. At this current time, he's 74 years old, so who knows when he might pass. It also should be noted, this guy was also a cannibal. There are just no redeeming factors about him whatsoever. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. Check this video out, let's talk about it after.
Chikatilo was dressed in a souvenir Olympic sports shirt provided by the court. His head had been shaved, a standard procedure to guard against lice. As proceedings began, the setting resembled a circus more than a murder trial.
He was in a large iron cage in the courtroom. The cage was to protect him from the rage of the parents of the victims.
He was never able to sit at a table and converse with his lawyer the way a Western defendant would have been. It was a bizarre scene.
This is Andre Chikatilo before they shaved his head and put him in the courtroom. He assaulted and mutilated more than 52 women and children between 1978 and 1990. The families of the victims were outraged in the court, and they thought he got the easy way out by execution. They wanted him to be tortured. In 1994, he was sentenced to death by a gunshot to the back of the head. But still, many of the victims' families said he got the easy way out this way, and they wanted to torture him. He would also engage in acts of cannibalism and necrophilia. It should also be noted, he confessed to 56 murders, he was charged for 53, but got convicted for 52. And the sheer number and violence of his crimes is how he got the nickname Butcher of Rostov. Let me know what you think about this sicko in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. The man behind me was murdered in cold blood. This case was cold since 2018, but now they finally found the killer of 68-year-old Chong Yang. Thomas Olson has been convicted and charged. Okay, that's my cat's tail. He was arrested on February 22nd, and he's being charged with second-degree murder and possession of a firearm as a felon. He is now scheduled to be sentenced on April 8th. Chong Yang, pictured behind me, was an avid hunter, and in November of 2018, he went hunting, as he usually does, but this time he didn't come back. His wife became worried when he didn't come back that evening, so her and the entire family went looking for him. They located his vehicle, and they followed the footprints to find him laying face down with a gunshot wound. So after murdering Chong Yang in cold blood, Thomas Olson went ahead and stole all of his belongings as well. Plastic bag with hunting spray on it actually identified Olson, and then they found stuff on his phone. These idiots were texting back and forth to each other saying, "The killers are returning to the scene of the crime," referring to Yang's death. So obviously these psychos had no remorse for this, and they should be serving a life term. Such an unfortunate story. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. The woman behind me got abducted when she was just 22 months old, but she was reunited with her family. In 1971, 22-month-old Melissa Highsmith was abducted by her babysitter in Fort Worth, Texas. Obviously, her loved ones alerted the police that she was missing, and they searched for her for decades. And her family still celebrated her birthday every single November, every single year. They were still hopeful they would find her, but obviously they were losing hope. In 2022, Melissa's family finally found her thanks to a 23andMe DNA test. That is more than 50 years after her disappearance. Melissa's name was changed to Melanie Warden, and she actually had no idea she was abducted. She even described her upbringing as abusive. And now, of course, this is Melissa right here, and this was her as a baby. This is so amazing that she was reunited with her family, but it's a shame that her upbringing was abusive. I'm assuming the babysitter that kidnapped her was the one that brought her up. No idea why somebody would kidnap a child from someone else's family, but I'm glad she was finally reunited. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. These two got shot in their sleep. Let's talk about what happened. Linda Kolkina and Dan Broderick, pictured behind me, began dating while Dan was still married. They snuck around for about 7 years before 1985 when Dan Broderick finally divorced his wife, Betty. As you could imagine, Betty was very pissed off about this. She left them angry voicemails, spray painted the walls, broke into their house, and even drove the car into the house one time. Now, Dan and Linda would go on to get married in 1989 in April. Linda begged Dan to wear a bulletproof vest at all times because she was scared Betty would take revenge on the couple. And honestly, she was spot on with this because that's exactly what happened. Now, 7 months later is when Betty snuck into the couple's bedroom while they were both sleeping and shot them both in their sleep. Betty is now 73 years old, and I believe she's being held in a prison in California. She's been denied parole twice, and she's expected to spend the rest of her life behind bars. So, what do you guys think about this case? Whose side are you on? Are you on Dan and Linda's side, or are you on Betty's side? This is just a wild story to hear about. Kind of crazy. I feel like they probably should have called the cops after she broke into their house several times, spray painted the walls, drove the car into the side of the wall, you know? But let me know your thoughts below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. This man right here was on video pointing a shotgun at his wife before he shot her dead. This is Kerry Birmingham. He's a man from Texas that discovered his wife Patricia was having an affair. The two argued for 30 minutes before you see Kerry on video coming out with a shotgun pointed at his wife. He would then say on video, "I'm done with you, you're going to meet Jesus before I do." He then pointed the shotgun at her and shot her 3 times. She was also reportedly shot in the head. This ordeal happened in December of 2021 and the trial finally finished in 2024, just last week. Kerry Birmingham will be sentenced to 10 years in prison, which in my opinion is way too low. This should be a life sentence. And he will be eligible for parole in 5 years. His daughter Olivia was at school when this whole ordeal went down, and she said she lost both of her parents that day. She said she will never forgive her father for what he did. She also came forward saying he was physically and financially abusive to the family. I believe upon reading this happened in Spring, Texas. If any of you guys are from there, have you heard about this story? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. The man behind me killed his girlfriend and kidnapped their young children. This is 37-year-old Dustin Duran, and this happened in New Hampshire. On February 29th, the New Hampshire police responded to an apartment. There they found Caitlin Nafziger's body. After an autopsy report, it was found that she died from a single bullet wound to the head. And obviously, this was ruled a homicide. The police then issued an Amber Alert because they realized Dustin Duran and the 2 kids were gone. Citizens ended up finding a Subaru Impreza that was his at a restaurant and called the cops. Dustin was apprehended safely and the children are safe as well. They are now charging him with second-degree murder. His first court date was March 4th. His next court date is scheduled for March 13th in 2 days. He is being held without bond, and it's very unclear onto why he shot his girlfriend. But if you zoom into that picture, you can see he has the serial killer glasses on. It's just like that meme. Every single serial killer wears those glasses. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and as always, these videos are for informational purposes only. And if you're from New Hampshire, let me know if you heard about this story. Colorado man found guilty of strangling his roommate and co-worker to death. The man behind me's name is Miles Tovar. He's a 40-year-old from Breckenridge, Colorado. On November 6, 2018, a co-worker called to report Brendan Wright unconscious and not responding. The 3 men were all living in a condo together at the time. The owners of the condo invited them all over for a celebration dinner. Tovar got heavily intoxicated and he was asked to leave. That's when Rye stepped in and led Tovar back to the unit multiple times that they were staying at. That is when multiple people reported hearing gunshots from outside. Tovar behind me was shot in the leg and Rye died from manual strangulation. Investigators were looking for Rye's murderer for years, but in 2022, Tovar turned himself in. But he only turned himself in after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Brendan Rye's family and friends have been waiting for justice to be served forever and more clues to his case. As of March 8, Tovar has been charged with first-degree criminal trespass and manslaughter. Hopefully this brings more closure to Brendan Rye's family and friends. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below, and a reminder, these videos are for informational purposes only. Also, with the headline, it kind of confused me because I thought this guy killed 2 people. It was only 1. He was a roommate and a coworker. Wisconsin man named Deez Nuts arrested for suspected battery. And no, that is not a lie. His full name is Deez Nuts Kroll. On March 5th, Green Bay police responded to the East Walnut Block and found Dees shirtless. Apparently, a few people got into an altercation with Kroll outside. They were arguing over the phone, then they showed up to Kroll's residence. When Kroll opened the door, he punched them in the shoulder. Then all three of them started fighting each other. Kroll then went inside of his residence, got a BB gun, and came outside. However, he did not fire off. Officers seized the BB gun before he could do anything with it. It was loaded with 8 BBs. Investigators also noted when they were interrogating Mr. Kroll that he was talking in circles and not making a lot of sense. And now the part we've all been waiting for. Why did he change his name to Dees Nuts? He probably thought it was funny, but his real name before that was Derek. He changed it back in 2011. I'm not sure why he would change it to that. I feel like there are better options out there. Dees Nuts Kroll, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Probably not in a good way, though. Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.